We're ready to roll. Fantastic. Well, welcome back to New Zealand.
Thank you.
Was this your first New Zealand cinematic experience?
Yes, it was. It was my first trip ever here.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent. What did you think? How did you enjoy it?
It was amazing. I'd heard about New Zealand from a couple of friends that I'd worked with before who had been here for a couple of years shooting a movie. And he just went on and on and on about it, and he wouldn't stop talking about New Zealand. So I was aware of it. But once I got here, I understood everything he was talking about. The people, the land, just everything about New Zealand felt very much like home.
This project, what drew you to the Tattooist to play Jake?
You know, when I read the script, I thought it was one of the most original things I'd ever read. I was reading about a culture that I didn't really know much about. I was reading a story that was completely new to me, and I just thought, you know, it was a very original story for me. And it's not a sequel. It's not a remake. It was just a completely original story.
You're almost describing Jake's journey in a way, in a sense of discovering what that actually meant. And I agree. I can't believe that premise hasn't been done before, because it's just so exciting what you could possibly do with it. I know that that with the Samoan community was a big part and being consulted with how this was going to go. I mean, how big a deal was it for you to learn more about the Samoan culture with this film?
Well, it was great for me because, you know, I think my job as an actor was really to learn about my character and learn about what he did. And so I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles going to different tattoo parlors and just kind of soaking up the environment and just kind of getting a feel for how they behaved and interacted. And they have their own jargon and they have their own hierarchy, and that was really my job. But when I got here, I think that as I learned more about the Samoan community, it became a new responsibility for me to do whatever I could to try to be as respectful and as authentic to really clearly represent them on film. And I think, you know, between Pete and myself and all the Samoan advisors, we really tried our best to be as authentic as possible.
No, you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
Have you got a tattoo yourself?
I do.
Where?
I have a tattoo on my shoulder that I got in Japan. It's kanji writing.
Did you have that tattoo before you took this project on?
Yes, I did. And I got to tell you, it took all of my willpower not to walk away from this film with a full-on sleeve.
Oh, really?
I mean, it looked so cool and it felt like it just fit. And it's really easy for you to kind of look past the fact that it might limit your character decisions in the future. But no, it felt really appropriate for me.
You had a lot, obviously, of tattooing on your body for the film, and that was basically all makeup.
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, it was a pretty technical thing to go through. You know, when I just had the sleeve itself with the T-shirt on, it took about a couple hours to put on, and it took about an hour to get off. And then when I had the full regalia on, it took a little bit longer.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yeah, I was shaved, glued, doused, powdered. Very, very glamorous work.
Movies are so glamorous, aren't they?
Aren't they, though?
The concept of a tattoo, or culturally, it's become incredibly hip to have a tattoo in the last sort of 5 or 10 years, and the Robbie Williams and the like. What do you think draws people to want to go through that pain for a start?
Well, I think there's something incredibly personal and very individual with the tattoo. It means different things to different people, I think, culturally and personally. You know, people who get a little Tweety Bird on their shoulder blade might just think it's the best thing in the world. And other people might look at that and go, well, why'd you put Tweety Bird? Really, Tweety Bird? You know, it's just, it's very, very specific to the individual. And culturally, it's been something that's been going on for, you know, centuries. And it's a rite of passage for many. And the pain that you go through, I think, in the cultural sense, really does bring you on a spiritual journey and sort of a vision quest of sorts. And I think personally, people, you know, it's what is it worth to you to get that piece of art in your body.
I wonder how many people might sit in the audience tonight going.
Yeah, exactly. You think? I mean, you know, it's one of those things that when you watch a movie like this, you can't help but sort of take a second look at glowing drapes or a quick movement or an odd or unfamiliar sound. It just it really does get underneath your skin.
Oh, it certainly captured that sense of the fact that the ink became your blood. It was, yeah, I found it particularly terrifying.
Horrifying.
Now, you seem to be drawn to kind of different roles like this. If you think of The Grudge, even Roswell, do you prefer to go down the kind of unknown, scary line?
Well, it's funny because I've tried to balance out my career with bigger, more I think universally accepted kind of stories with smaller, independent-minded, character-driven pieces. And it's just that sometimes those take a little bit longer to get out. So, like I just got back from New York doing a movie that was very character-driven about a man who's sort of a coming-of-age story for a man in his 30s who's having an existential crisis.
Right.
So it's for me it's always been about where the story is.
And you and Mia looked absolutely fantastic and had a great cinema presence as well. What was it like working with Mia?
Well, it's really easy to stand next to her and feel good. You
Yeah.
know, she's an incredibly beautiful person, and she's also, as an actress, she's very thoughtful and very playful. So it was really easy to find truth in behavior and in between the two characters with her, because she was always trying to explore. And I think her essence really did bring a lot to Cena. And what I thought was really important was that there was a sense of integrity, a foundation, a goodness in Cena that Jake was missing in his own life, and he was instantly drawn to that light, and that just that's something that's very inherent in Mia.
Can we expect you to come down to New Zealand maybe another time and make another film?
I would love to come down here as much as possible. I absolutely love New Zealand. It feels like home.
Lots of big Hollywood stars come down here and buy pieces of land. You're not planning to buy half the South Island and plonk a house on it, are you?
Maybe one day. I actually would love to. I just don't want to tell anybody else in Hollywood because I want to make sure it stays the way it is.
It's all about you. Good thinking, good thinking.
Absolutely.
Jason, thank you.